What's going on? My name is Tyson McGuffin. Welcome to the McGuffin Show. Want to let you guys know this episode is sponsored by Beamer Therapy. Get over to my website and go to tysonmcguffin.com and check out what Beamer Therapy is about. Pretty special. I got an awesome guest here today. Super Bowl champ, Pro Bowler, turned down a MLB offer. Used to play for my team who is not looking too sharp this year. Golden Tate, what is going on, my man?
What's up? What's up?
God,
how you doing?
God, that's a good-looking hat. I'll tell you what. That is a good-looking hat. Come on.
Hey, I appreciate you hooking your boy up.
Oh yeah, man. Got you. Yeah, sent Golden a little care package. Couple. It was waiting for too long. He was asking about it. I was on the road, and he finally got it. But I sent him a couple shirts, a hat, and that new signature amped Invicta. How you liking the paddle?
Yo, I've been getting some serious power with that thing, and I've caught on to it pretty quickly. I'm really enjoying it, and it's a lot of games gonna be won with that paddle.
Yeah, that's right, baby. With that gold signature paddle, best looking paddle in the game, by the way.
Yeah,
aesthetically. Go ahead.
I plan on getting a few more trophies like this one. Playing with that paddle.
Watch out, world.
They're gonna say first place instead of second place.
That's right. Watch out, world. Where do you play pickleball at? Where are you hanging out at these days?
Yeah, so we're based out of San Diego, pretty much in the Rancho Santa Fe area. I'm a huge golfer, and so at our club we have tennis courts that they have pickleball lines on, and so when I was still active, I was playing in the off season once every now and then, kind of just being an athlete. And since I walked away from football, I've really been getting into it. And we have a really good group. We have a few leagues that are happening right now that I'm participating in, but also I have 3 kids and they play during it's my rush hour, around 5:30 when it's dinner, bath, and sleep time. So I'm not able to play as much, but during the week, I'll play in the morning as soon as the kids go to school with a group of guys, my golf buddies that are picking it up pretty quickly.
That's
and
cool,
we vibe out.
Yeah, love it. Tell me how competitive do you get during those leagues, bro?
Man, that's one thing I've gotten better at. I'm always going to be competitive, and that's what separates us from other people. And you can definitely know what I mean. It's it's something in here. It's almost like I watch Michael Jordan's documentary and Kobe, and people are I sit with people and they're like, dude, he is crazy. But there's part of me that understands it's almost like a sickness, but it's a good sickness to have. Is I have a hard time turning the competitiveness off. And so I go out there to try to absolutely embarrass people with whatever sport I do. It's just a part of me. And
can't turn it off.
Exactly. And I hate losing more than I like winning. So
yeah,
I have to dial it back and kind of take deep breaths and not be too vigorous towards people.
Yeah, for sure. But no, bro, take a look at some of the best athletes in the world, and they all have a couple screws loose. They're all selfish. They got to where they were because of hard work and dedication, and it takes a different breed,
Yeah, and I wear my emotions on my sleeves, just in life in general. So, you can kind of, what I'm feeling by just looking at me after something happens. And I know that's one thing that I appreciate about you, that I could see the emotion and passion.
Yeah, for sure, man. Oh yeah.
When you're at your highs and also at your lows, and that's what's consistent. You go out there and dominate, you're emotionally invested into it, and you show that. And I like that. And on the rare occasion that you're not at your best, you can definitely you self-talk,
sure, man.
Get out of it. So
find a way to find it, Yeah, exactly. No, for sure.
For sure.
And as with yourself as well, when I used to watch you play back in the day, there was plenty of energy, there was plenty of emotion, there's plenty of fire, and give the people what they want, man. I mean, I can't tell you how many of my fans are true fans and have been true fans from day one, and it's because I don't take myself too serious. I'm a good guy, but I bring the energy, bring the emotion, and I think people can feed off of that,
Yeah, it's almost like we have 2 personalities. We're 2 different people. On the court, I'm someone who's completely different than when I'm just roaming around the house and being around friends, and I'm okay with it. I go to a dark,
I'm
I
okay
don't
with
want
it.
to walk. I go to a dark place, because that was my job. That was my
Yeah, right.
livelihood. I had to support my family. So I go to a dark place. But then as soon as the game over, I'm just like back to this like down to earth, super nice, fun,
Yep.
goofy dude.
Yeah, yeah, for sure, man. Okay, so hey, so give us a story from the start. So from Tennessee.
Yeah, so from Nashville, Tennessee, born and raised. I am the second oldest of five. Um, all of us were blessed and fortunate enough to play college sports and have no college debt, which is incredible and so thankful. Went on baseball was my first love, and then I started playing football. Then I started playing basketball, but I wish I was a little bit taller.
Yeah.
I could have played basketball, but so I just pick up.
Yeah.
Pretty much, man. Like sports has kind of always been like a part of me. Like before I said mom or dad, I was saying ball.
Okay.
And so that were it was like destined. And I kind of manifested it and prayed on it every single night that I would play or be a professional athlete. And I didn't care which one it was at the time when I was little, but I used to pray every night. And then it became a reality.
Yeah.
I had the opportunity to play high school ball, and then suddenly colleges started talking to me. And then before I knew it, like my junior year, after I won the Blitnikoff and set records,
Right.
suddenly I was being thrown into like the NFL when I was actually just excited to be on my senior year, and so that kind of shook up my world. But it's crazy how God works, man, and it all worked out. But
That's cool.
yeah, just grew up playing any and every sport. I didn't care about. I was not the greatest little kid, if you know what I
Oh
mean.
yeah, for sure. Tell me what type of kid were you in high school? Uh,
I was a kid who was always gonna push the limits and everything. Like if I had curfew at midnight, I was showing up at 12:01 and negotiating taking that or something.
Wheel and deal a
Always
little bit.
right. Street light, be home by the time street lights come on. I'm looking at every street light and I'm coming home when the last one comes. I'm like, that one was not on. So I'll push the limits
Right.
in life. And it's got me in trouble at times, but it's also helped me become who I am. So
Yeah.
just super competitive with just about everything.
So you kind of mentioned that when you were a kid you pushed the limits and may have been a bit of a bad kid. I was in that same position. I'm the youngest of seven. Got corrupted at a very young age. Grew up in a wrestling family. My dad was a wrestling coach for like 30, 40 years, and my parents kind of let their foot off the gas when I was like a freshman or sophomore in high school, if you know what I mean. So I kind of ran wild. So I had to go the junior college route, if you know what I mean. But I actually had a tennis scholarship, or I had a tennis scholarship, and I had a wrestling scholarship, and turned down my wrestling scholarship. I was going to wrestle at Grand Canyon, which is based out of Phoenix. It's like a D2 school. Turned that down and ended up going to Scottsdale Junior College. We were like top 5 in the country in JUCO. But anyhow, yeah, all throughout high school, bro, pushing the limits. Would never come home on time. It would always end up on a buddy's boat for too long, and maybe throwing a couple back, if you know what I mean. And anyhow, I was more driven to hang out with girls and play sports than I was academics. So I did a lot of growing my freshman and sophomore year in college, if you know what I mean.
Sounds like me.
It's too funny. Okay, so hey, so tell me this: what's your best memory from the NFL? Being a Pro Bowler, winning the Super Bowl. Yeah, I'm sure there's more than plenty. And if you don't mind telling my viewers here, how many years were you in the league first? Sorry.
Yeah, so I played for 12 seasons, 12 years, however you want to call it. And man, I've had so many amazing memories. And like some of these memories weren't amazing then because that was my norm.
Right.
But now that I'm like been removed from it for a few months, it's like, oh wow, like I rethink, I'm like, man, that is a cool memory, like that everyone would love to hear these stories. So like I've been trying to like
right.
remember them at their face value. But I gotta say my best memory is definitely winning the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Just like, man, it's crazy how all the stars aligned and just how God's timing with all of it. You know, the place I was, the position I was playing,
Yeah.
to be able to achieve it in my win a Super Bowl in my fourth season, which also was my contract year, which is like, bingo. How would you draw it up any differently?
Get paid, baby.
Right. It was just amazing. Like, and I try to like describe it to people, but you know, my entire life I spent up and, you know, praying that I would be a professional athlete. And, you know, as a little boy watching Brett Favre and all these other guys playing Super Bowls, and like going outside and like in my mind playing back like, oh, 15 seconds left on, you know, it's 3rd and 7 in Super Bowl, I don't know, like 30 something. Brett Favre throws Golden Tate a pass and he scores a touchdown. I was doing it in my backyard, and like to
Yeah.
fast forward to,
Yeah, that's badass, man.
you know, a decade and a half later, or however long it was, and for that to be my reality
Yeah.
was like, wow, it's crazy. And like even then, when I was 24, 25, like I didn't really appreciate it and understand it the way I should. But like as you grow older, your perspectives change on just everything. And so like I look back at it and like, man, like why did I deserve to be playing that Super Bowl? Like what did, you know, I was, you know, God, why'd you put me on this team versus the Cleveland Browns during that time where I wouldn't even win a game. And so like, I'm just so thankful that I'm a part of like a fraternity that, you know, not very many people can say they're a part of. I mean, there's people who play for 15 years, 20 years,
Two
like
decades,
Calvin
right?
Johnson, who don't even go to playoffs.
Right, for sure.
You know,
CJ.
or they, you know, so it's like, man,
Right.
I did it in my fourth year, and it had me thinking like, oh, the NFL is not that hard. It's not that hard doing the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Little did I know, I barely sniffed the playoffs the rest of my career. So like that was my best one.
I think you hit the nail on the head though, bro. Like talking about how, you know, you were in your backyard, like envisioning Brett Favre throwing you a TD, like you have to see it before it happens, bro. I tell my campers that's something I go through, like before I play matches. Like I'm going to see myself winning certain patterns. I'm going to work the match kind of in my head around me using my strengths. And yeah, if you don't see it before it happens, it's not going to happen, bro. You know, I mean, that added belief and you know, that stuff goes a long ways.
Yeah, there's only so much like luck that can go into stuff. I mean, and it definitely plays a part, but like in order to be successful really in anything, you got to kind of be prepared, and you got to like put yourself in the best possible position to succeed. And it's probably not going to be just like showing up at any job or any sport or any game, just like hoping that it all works out. Like you kind of got to like think about it and come up with a plan, because like in sports, especially, like you don't have a lot of time to like think about the next play. Like you got to trust in your preparation.
Trust, big trust.
And then also like visualize, like a lot of visualizing, like, okay, if I'm in this situation, this is what I want to do. So like my body's kind of prepared for it. Now there's obviously the element of surprise, but like you just want to give yourself the best chance to succeed. And that's by preparing.
Love that. Love that for sure. For all you viewers out there, get yourself prepared, get yourself organized, see it before it happens. Some of the best athletes in the world do that, and do that to a T. And that's what it comes down to. Tell me this: what made you so successful in NFL, in the league, and now with what you're doing right now? I guess what's your motto, and just kind of how have you got to where you are now, bro?
You know, that's a really good question. I would say people like kind of always being doubted, and then always, you know, just knowing where I came from, and
Just love that.
it was all self belief. And like me, I think what separates me from a lot of people is like the mentality and the mental. Like I think it's very easy to like listen to people say you can't do something and you won't do something, and it's easy to believe it and give up. You know, I was always told like, dude, you're not gonna make it out the hood, and you're not, you know, you're not big enough, you're not fast enough, you're not strong enough. And I heard it all, but I didn't believe it, and so I just kept grinding it out. Now a lot of it didn't seem like grind because it was so fun. Like I
Something you
just
loved,
love
yeah. Right.
playing sports, and like going outside and playing for hours and hours and hours was like the time of my life. That's what I wanted to do. I wouldn't have it any differently. And so like once I got to, college and the NFL, like you start seeing guys who are bigger and faster and stronger and who are sought out more. And that just kind of helped me with my self-belief. And like I knew that I wasn't the typical 6'1", 6'2", 4'2", 4'3" speed with long arms and big ass hands. And I was okay with that. I said, in my mind, I said, all right, what's going to separate me? Like, what am I going to do so well that people are just physically can't do and aren't able to do? And for me, I found my niche, which was being a receiver that was quick. And there's a lot of guys who are quick, but I took a lot of pride in, you know, not fumbling and catching everything that came my way.
Yep.
And every time I touched the ball, there was an opportunity to score. And that's how I mentally thought about it. And when I played football. And so every time I touched the ball, I was trying to score. And so that also ended up being, turning me into the Yak King, which is yards after catch.
Yeah.
And so I kind of figured out a way to like separate myself from everyone, because everyone was so caught up on like, oh, this guy runs a 4.2 and he can jump out the building and he can go catch the ball 40 yards down the field, which is great, but there's other ways to get there. Yeah. I can give you what I figured out. I was like, you can give me the ball 3 yards, 4 yards, 5 yards from the line of scrimmage, which is a higher percentage throw and catch. And then I can still make it to that destination by just pure, will and being prepared and self-belief. And so I felt like I separated myself, doing that, but also just like, man, I noticed like there'd be guys like come into camp like, man, like this dude is younger, he's faster, he's stronger, he runs better routes to me. Like he's got all the juice to take my job, but mentally it's hard being successful in this league and being successful for a long time, because you're dealing with injuries. You're dealing with like learning the playbook. You're dealing with
It's a lot going on.
You're young and throwing a ton of money. Like there's just so many like obstacles that are just so easy to get caught up on. And like I was able to mentally like have my fun, of course, and probably too much fun early in my career, but also like lock it in and mentally like know that I'm a practice hard, play hard. So when I'm not on the field, I can play harder. And so it was just a mental and pure want in my mind is kind of what I think separates me.
Yeah, I love that, bro. It's a great answer. I mean, first and foremost, prove those doubters wrong. Use it as fuel. Something that kind of happened to me this last year. I got dropped by probably one of the better men's doubles partners in the game, and I got dropped by the best female in the game. I got the double axe, and that was at the end of 2020, or that was at the end of 2021. So coming into 2022, bro, was like get back to the drawing board, use that as fuel. Even though I got dropped by some of the best players in the world, like I'm not going anywhere. I'm going to create my own destiny. And then the second piece of that is I love how you were talking about how you've maximized just what you have. You're not the biggest guy. You can't jump the highest, but you have heart, you have will, you're going to hang on to the ball, you're going to be very protective of the ball, and you're going to find ways to just make yourself attractive other big guys like a Calvin Johnson, right? Yeah, and something, I'm 5'9", 5'10" on a good day, and I grew up as a wrestler and didn't start playing racket sports until I was 14. So I've always kind of been playing catch up. And something that I use on the pickleball court is I use that inner wrestler. I'm tough as nails. Never say never. When my back's against the wall, I can usually bring the goods. And even though I'm not the biggest guy, I make myself extra big at the kitchen line. I lean in. I take a lot of court. I take a lot of balls out of the air. So, love that, bro. Maximize what you have, baby.
Yeah. It's all perspective too. Like, is what I'm finding out as I grow older. Like, I used to think it was just all me, and it definitely part of was me working hard and my mentality. But like, kind of going back to believing in the one who created you, and just knowing like that he's given me everything I possibly need.
Right.
No matter what the world says, it's just now I need to continue to walk with Jesus and let him kind of guide me.
Right.
And it all works out every single time. And that's
Special.
kind of one thing I've been trying to focus on is just believing, because like we live in a world that's just going to tear us down.
Right.
I mean, for the rest of the time, like we live in a world, unfortunately, that just tells us we can't do this. You shouldn't do this. It's impossible. But if you just listen to your maker, he's going to find a way. He's going to find a way. And that's what Jesus did for me. Even when I didn't feel like I deserved it,
right,
or didn't even know I wanted it, he just finds a way. And so
it's cool.
It's worked out.
Let him guide you. No, for sure. Hey, so if there was one cornerback in the NFL that you did not like going against, you don't have to answer it, but if you don't mind, yeah, if there's one cornerback that maybe give you a hard time and he was a little too physical, or plain and simple, he was just tough as nails and he was talented, who is that cornerback?
And see, look, it's a mentality. It's a mentality. And so the way based off the question you asked, there was nobody. Because if there was someone that I thought like, dang, man, I don't know what I'm gonna do this week, or this guy's got so good, I'm defeated already, right?
Yeah, no, for sure. Right,
I'm defeated. So I went out to practice, and I went out to every single game, no matter who was on the team, who was on the field. I don't know how many Pro Bowls. When I stepped on that field, I felt like, and I thought, and I really believed that I was the baddest man on that field.
Yep.
And I was not getting beat. And I felt like if I ever thought someone was better than me, then I'd already lost, right?
Right.
And so now if you would ask that question as in like, all right, what are, a couple of the DBs that you respect and that you really like their game?
Yeah.
Then we can talk about Patrick Peterson,
right,
and Richard Sherman.
Yeah. Right.
Marcus Peters in his prime was hell to go against.
Okay.
Even a guy, Quandre Diggs, used to be the nickel the nickel player when I was in Detroit. Now he's a safety, but he used to give me hell, and I was on year 7, 8, but he was
right.
year 2, but he was 30. But yeah, like, but
it's all about mentality.
It's all perspective, man. It's just like I viewed myself in a way that I wasn't going to give another person the benefit of like mentally beating me, I guess.
Yeah, no, it makes sense. So as you were playing in the NFL, what was your diet and recovery like? And were you pretty clean with your eating? Were you pretty aggressive with your recovery stuff?
Man, they used to call me Bowling Ball Tate, man.
No.
They call me Bowling,
no.
Every offseason.
Bowling Ball Tate.
I was out eating Wendy's and McGriddles and
get out of here.
all that stuff, especially when I was young. Like when I was young, coming from the South where we put butter in every single thing and grease and everything. So I'm eating fried chicken no matter what day it was. I'm eating several bowls of ice cream a day. Now I'm down to one, thankfully. But my diet was something I did not pay enough attention to when I was younger, but there wasn't all this stuff available either. Like it was kind of like, one, it was ignorance is bliss. And like, yeah, we know that fried food's not good for you, but do we really know why? Not really. So I wasn't really trying to listen to it. And now you got all these different ketos and all types of fasting and people going vegetarian, people saying meat's good for you, not good for you. I kind of just did what I wanted. And I was, I'll probably pay the price in the upcoming years, but my diet now is much better.
Okay.
Now that I'm married and got kids and I got a wife that loves to cook and can cook very well, we eat much healthier.
Love
and
that.
I feel better for sure. But it's crazy. Like if you look into it, like what you eat and put in your body can be a large part of like why, you always feel bloated, or why you feel like you're on edge or sluggish, or, your gut, and like, just eating better can help with everything, like sleep and your moods and everything. And so I've learned that. And so I try to take advantage of it. One thing I do make sure I definitely drink is called Athletic Greens. It's just like full of greens in it. You would think it tastes like awful, but it's actually not bad. I chug it and I'm done, and I just feel better throughout the day. So I would encourage like people like to look into that for sure.
So hang on. So the Big Stage podcast, the host of that, I believe, since I was just on it, is an investor in Athletic Greens. Yeah, she just sent me some. I have not touched it yet, but is it Dan Wiseman? Is that his name? I don't know. The Big Stage podcast, like Aaron Rodgers has been on there and Floyd Mayweather.
Yeah, it could be.
Okay. But yeah, it's kind of funny you mentioned that because I was just on there last week and he ended up sending me like a little care package and sent me some Athletic Greens. I'm about to try.
Try it out.
Yeah,
Try it
okay,
out and just let me know what you think.
Yeah, for sure.
Days.
Yep. So I guess when you were playing, did you use like compression boots or Beamer? Did you guys do stretching? Was there a lot of stuff in house? I guess would you use like the physio in house?
Yeah, it kind of, as years pass, it takes a little bit more to get ready and to get over soreness. I mean, that's just part of like aging, of course. But massages have always kind of been a part of my recovery. Usually at the facilities, you have everything you need for the most part.
Yeah.
But there's always more that you can get. Like hot tub, cold tub was something I always did. Like sweating. Sweating's always going to be good, especially when you have toxins in you from like a long, Friday, Saturday night.
Get all that junk out of you.
Yeah, get all that ignorant juice out of you.
Ignorant juice.
But I just, as you grow older, you take stuff from different people, different veterans, and then you realize as you get to know yourself, like, oh, I don't need this as much, and so like, I got away from, this particular therapy, but then I also brought in like acupuncture and dry needling.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And later in my career, I started getting these IVs that are called NAD, which
I do a ton of NAD.
Dude, they hurt like hell, but like I feel so much better. Like as soon as the needle's out of me.
Yeah. Hey, not to cut in here. What does NAD do for you, bro? Because I take 500 milligrams every 6 weeks. I started off just doing a couple 100 milligrams. Obviously, like you get the chest pain. It feels like, it feels like you're nauseous and all these. Right. And literally it feels like your cells are like cracking in your body and like activating. It's wild. Anyhow, for me, with having some ADHD, honestly, it gives me more of like a tunnel look. There's less going on upstairs. Like I'm just sharper. My day is more efficient. I sleep better. My senses are heightened like right away. Like when I walk out of a med spa after doing NAD, like colors are brighter. I can smell everything. But yeah, I guess what does NAD do for you?
So for me, my experience is a little bit different because like I was doing it like always to like try to help me recover a little bit faster.
Right.
So like I would get them like after games. Sometimes I would get them before games. Like I started getting them like Fridays before the game. And I would go into those games just feeling like it was week one all over again every single time. And it helped me sleep, like you said. Now that I think back on it, I feel like my clarity was definitely better.
For sure.
And that was definitely probably one of the biggest ones. Like I just went into like situations with a more clear mind. And it made me feel good. And like, I started looking up like why people do it and who does it. And like, hell, I definitely want to stay young. So it's good for anti-aging.
Yeah, of course, man.
I was all for it. But I haven't done it on
regular
I was doing like 500 mgs every week.
Right before
like during the season. And I mean, it would get so bad. And it was super strong, whatever he was giving us.
Yeah.
And it would just tear me up, man. But
tell me how long would it take to do 500 for you? Because I know people it takes like 3 hours.
It would take me a solid probably right around 2 hours.
Okay. You have to do it on slow drip. You kind of have to slowly let it trickle in.
You have to. And I would play my video game. I play Warzone to take my mind off of it because there's no way I could just sit there and just like think about this pain the entire time.
Yeah, no, it's.
I'd do something.
It's a different feeling, that's for sure. Now that I've done it so much, I can ram 500 milligrams in like 30 minutes. But like the first couple of times that I did it, bro, it was taking me like an hour and a half. Yeah, no.
That's nuts. Our linemen would have like contests where they would time each other
and ram it.
And like 20 minutes was like the fastest.
Oh
Like,
my
y'all,
gosh. So up at Gaza are like the hockey dudes. A lot of the Discovery members at Gaza are all NHL guys, and there's this medical spa in Coeur d'Alene that will send nurses out to Gaza, and there's some of these NHL dudes that will do like 1,000, bro, like 1,000 milligrams in 30 minutes. No, it's crazy. I know you asked me about Major League Pickleball at the beginning of our conversation. Big news yesterday. Braun, K-Love, and Draymond all bought a team together. So they own a team. We have Drew Brees. We have James Blake. James Blake, top American tennis player back in the day, now retired. Gary V. I mean, it goes on and on and on. What do you think about Major League Pickleball? Do you know much about it? Do you know like the format and kind of how things run? Or
So only thing I know about pickleball is like I follow like all the tours on Instagram,
Yeah.
and then obviously you, and keep up with a few people throughout the league, but I don't understand like the ownership and how I guess tournaments are ran. I don't even know like what you would label me as, like
ratings
my
wise?
level.
Yeah.
Like I don't know if I'm a 3-0 or 2-0 or
Yeah.
4. I don't know.
That's what everybody wants to know,
But
right?
but I know like the sport is growing incredibly fast, and I know like there's a reason why like really the king of sports and like LeBron James is like investing, and like it's been something that's on my mind for a long time. I just don't completely understand like the process. I've never even been to like a tournament,
Okay.
like an actual tournament. Yeah, I just kind of go play and try to learn from the Instagram. So like that's where you can kind of educate me
Oh yeah, for
on
sure.
what that is like and what that process is.
Well, yeah, and anytime that I'm playing a tournament near you, bro, I would love to get you to a PPA event. Have you check it out? Center court. I mean, probably the best atmosphere in pickleball right now is center court at a PPA event. But yeah, so the PPA got bought by this gentleman named Tom Dundon, who is a complete stud, entrepreneur, early investor in Topgolf, owns the Carolina Hurricanes. And he bought the big three is what they call it. He bought pickleballtournaments.com. He bought the main tour. And then he bought the largest retail store. And then on the other side, there's the APP tour. Still, they do a lot of things well. They just don't have as nice as venues. They don't have the TV deals and stuff like that. And then also we have Major League Pickleball. Major League Pickleball was started by a gentleman named Steve Kuhn, who was a hedge fund guy and made a lot of money in his day, and kind of built this like dreamland experience in Dripping Springs, Texas, which is like 30 minutes south of Austin. There's putt-putt. There's a bunch of professional players living down there. They have indoor-outdoor courts. And then there's this league now called Major League Pickleball. There's various owners. There's 2 guys and 2 girls per team. Teams kind of go off. There's added camaraderie. It's the only team event right now in pickleball. Yeah, man, lots of cool stuff taking place. And yeah, if someone like LeBron is buying a team, shit is pretty real.
Yeah, and that's great. And that's great for the league to have like big names in sports in general just attached to that, and big people in business attached to that. So that's awesome. And like it's what you guys deserve, man. Like any person or anybody who puts so much time and effort into their craft like deserves like to be like taken care of.
Yeah,
for
yeah,
sure.
Of course.
Supported.
Yep.
Of course.
Okay, so tell me, so are you more of a singles guy, doubles guy? Does it matter? You're going to beat anybody's ass. Doesn't matter who's in front of you.
Well,
beat up on those 60-year-olds, okay? Okay, don't be letting those guys get you.
There's a reason why I texted you the other day, like on some singles information, because I enjoy doubles, and if I have a good teammate, I like doubles. But if you want to work out and you want to really work on agility and like
get after
your IQ and like that, singles is where it's at.
Yeah, for sure.
You got to be a dog, and you got to be mentally and physically strong to like play against someone who's good.
Yeah.
So like athletically, I know that I'm there. Just something I'm just not getting in singles, where I get worked by people who are not elite athletes like I am, and I'm trying to figure that out. But I enjoy it.
Showtime. Don't be letting these old timers get any dubs off you, okay?
Yeah.
Okay? No.
I know. I'm working on it, and it pains me to say I get beat, but it's the truth. I'm lefty too, so being a lefty.
Okay, little added, yeah, for sure. So I guess with you being a lefty, you like playing either side. Are you versatile? I mean, most lefties generally play the right. That way, their forehand's in the middle. Don't know if you're educated with stacking and stuff like that, or
I prefer to stack.
Okay, there you go. Yeah,
I love to stack, and I feel like if I stayed on the right side, I would have a better chance at I feel like we could win.
Okay.
Majority of games.
And
now, my backhand's not bad, and my backhand dink is not bad. It's just there's so many times when they go down the middle, I'm just like hesitant to get it, and then I just watch a bunch go by. If I had like a player like yourself, like I would just be like, all right, look, we're either gonna stack, or when I'm on this side, anything in the middle, you take it.
Yeah.
And that's that.
Yeah. Don't be afraid to be authoritative in the middle, bro. I mean, I think, two paddles fighting the battle is better than none. And I've seen more teams, be successful with kind of one person being authoritative, or just, not being afraid to talk in the middle and, stuff like that. But you see at the highest level, like there's a ton of dinking in the middle. There's a ton of returns being hit in the middle, forcing. I mean, there's just value behind forcing your opponents to have to communicate, to have to talk, to get them to fight over middle balls and stuff like that. So a lot of value with picking on the middle and forcing your opponents to talk.
I have learned that, but from the right side for me.
Okay, so tell me this: if there was one player that you love watching in pickleball, who is it? Oh, come on, baby, come on. Come on.
We started to talk, like I told you, what I really, appreciate about you, like the passion and energy, and obviously the ability is amazing. I just like the vibe, and I love people who play with passion and who are emotional, and I like that. I watch the John brothers, and I watch Zane.
Yeah. I'm
actually playing with Ryan Sherry in a few weeks
in Florida.
He's gonna come here and play because he also does some stuff with NFL guys.
Oh yeah.
I'm working with him, and that's kind of how I even found out that he was a pro player. And I was like, oh, okay, that's crazy. Small world.
Sherry's my boy, man. He's a good dude.
I haven't spent much time with him, but I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, he's a good guy. He's a good guy for sure. He's a great guy.
It's crazy. I've just kind of figured out pickleball just off of watching stuff. I've never actually been coached by an elite player or coach. So I wonder what else I would learn just from a day of with someone who really studies and knows the game. So I'm looking forward to it. I don't know, maybe I go from whatever level I am to a half point up or something. Who knows?
If you come to one of my camps, I will bring you up a whole point. Okay, you can believe that. If you're a 3-5 right now, I will get you to a 4-5. And like I mentioned, yeah, man, like I mentioned before, whether you get up to Coeur d'Alene, or I get down to San Diego, or maybe I have a camp near you, know that it's on me. So would love to have you Showtime. Heck
yeah. I just gotta, if my kids would just grow up a little bit.
I know. I mean, come on, grow up faster.
Move around a bit, but it's tough. But
yeah, of course.
It'll work out.
All right, bro. Well, hey, I want to say thanks again for jumping on here. This was extra special for me. Always been a Seahawk fan, and obviously watched you growing up, and truly appreciate you. Like I said, you can come to any of my camps. It's on me. Or if you shoot me a text and want me to come down to San Diego and work with you, I would do anything to spend some time with you, bro. So,
dude, let's make that happen, and we'll get Drew Breeze to come out, and we'll get some cameras and get some good stuff going.
All right, Golden. Well, have yourself a great day, and let those kiddos know I said hello. And
I definitely will.
Thanks again, bro.
All right, man. Take care, man.
Yeah,
good luck for the rest of the season.